Hey guys, this is Bill from Linden, Tennessee. So, before I get to this update video, I just want to talk about Christmas. Uh, First of all, to all of you, Merry Christmas, and hope you had a great year, and hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If I don't talk to you again, I probably will, but if I don't. Anyway, at my house, Christmas did come a little bit early. I guess I've been a pretty good boy because Santa Claus brought me some really fun stuff. First of all, he brought me a winch. Now, this is kind of silly because I'm not going to use a winch. I'm not going to get this thing up into 3 feet of mud and stuck. That's just not in my DNA. That's just not what I do with cars. But, there's a bumper and it's got a winch mount on it. And these little Smitty built winches are not terribly expensive and they look pretty cool. Of course, I'd rather have a Warn because, it looks really cool, but it also has a really cool, hot price tag. They're like 600 or 700 bucks. This one was like 300 bucks. So, yeah, but the real time I will use this is if, like I told you about that, my receiver hitch, if I ever have a trailer on the front of this thing, then I can use this winch to pull a car or a truck onto the trailer or whatever. So, we'll see. But, if you're going to do something, you might as well do it right. And what's $300 as a percentage of what I've got in this whole entire thing? So I had to bring out a whole bunch of computers. My charger's not charging. So this is a circa 1994, I don't know how old this thing is, XP, Windows XP computer. And that is the only operating system that the Brusa charger can talk to. So fortunately, my wife had one just laying around and it worked. So yeah, so I've been talking to the Brusa trying to figure out why it doesn't charge, and ultimately I came up with I don't know why it doesn't charge. So I just started changing settings. I had that thing open for the last several hours. I should have done a video while I was doing it. But anyway, there's all different kinds of settings, and maybe I will. There's different settings you put in there, and there's like a nominal voltage, and then there's a maximum charge voltage. If the charger sees that, it'll just shut itself down as an error, and then there's the what voltage would you like it to turn off at, and then there's all kinds of other stuff for thermistors and things like that I'm not using. But there's like 7 different stages of charge if you wanted to really fine tune the rate. If it gets up to if the voltage gets to say 390, the max charge is 393. So if the voltage gets to 390, say, then you can tell the charger just to restrict the amperage that it puts out to, instead of 12, say 4. And then it can sort of slowly charge those last 3 volts. And then once it gets to maybe 392, then you can take it down to 1 amp and then shut the charge off at 393. But I'm not going to do any of that. I'm just going to have it at 393 and stop. That's good enough. It's really not that important. So as long as you don't overcharge it, you can undercharge it all you want to. And 393 is actually undercharging it a little bit. So anyway, so I started fixing those settings. And I did actually get it to charge, which is fantastic. And the Brusa have a pair of pretty loud little fans on them. And it's kind of nice that when you've got it charged in and it is charging, the fans are on and you can hear it and you know that it's going, which is awesome. But it was charging, but the fans weren't going. So I shined a flashlight up from the bottom into the fans, and there's the connectors for the fan are not connected. That's not good. I don't really know if I can get that charger out of there without having to pull this battery box out again. I really don't know. I'm going to try. I'll have to disconnect some coolant lines down in the bottom just to get them out of the way. And I might be able to get my hands up behind it to release the bolts, but I really don't know if I can. If I can't, I have to connect those fans. Like there's just no 2 ways around it. Like they have to be connected. The charger needs to be cooled. Like that's all there is to it. So I have to do it. And if I can't get my hands up there to undo those bolts that are holding it on, and I'll have to pull his battery box out again. So that sucks. I hope that it doesn't come to that. But if it does, it does. That's just what we'll do. And other than that, what else is going on? That's just the big thing. I needed to figure that out. Yeah. So, oh yeah. So if you watched my last video, it's a picture of me driving this thing. So yes, I did actually get it to drive. The last video I was on here talking about how I couldn't get the EV controls controller to pick up or receive a Bluetooth signal to the computer. Well, it turns out after quite a lot of back and forth emails with the fantastic tech support at EV Controls, I just cannot praise them enough for it. We figured this out on a Sunday. A Sunday morning. I don't actually know what the guy's name is because he's just the tech support guy. I assume it's a he. I don't even know that. I think it's Chris. I've heard other YouTubers talking about Chris. Maybe it's Chris. I don't know. But this person, the tech support person, was just wonderful. Like on a Sunday morning, just, it was back and forth emails. Here, try this. Send me a screenshot. Try that. Send a screenshot. Try that. And it turned out that the app, I guess whenever I loaded the app onto my iPad, it gave me the option, would you like the app to do Bluetooth? And apparently I said, no, I do not want you to do Bluetooth. That was the problem. So all you gotta do is you open up the settings of the iPad, and then you, on the left side, you scroll down to the EV Controls app, and then you do properties or something like that, settings, and there's just a little radio button, a little toggle switch, and you turn Bluetooth on, and as soon as you do that, it works like a champ. And then everything comes up, and I was able to flash the Tesla control board with the EV Controls software, firmware, whatever. And and that's all it took. And again, the guy at EV Controls, he walked me through the whole thing. There's 3 different stages to this flashing process, and at the end of each stage, he had me send him a screenshot, and he said, "Yep, that's good. Do the next one." And then, "Yep, that's good. Do the next one." And once that one's done, you're good to go. And he was absolutely right. So that's pretty awesome. Took the Jeep out for a couple miles drive. I've got a fairly steep hill that goes up to a buddy's house up the hill. Shout out to Corey. And it got up the hill no problem, and gave him a little ride. I had the inverter power set down to like 150 amps, which works out to about 70 or 80 horsepower, but it's still pretty sporty. 70 or 80 horsepower is kind of what my Ford Ranger had with a HP EVS AC 76. It was about 70 or 80 horsepower. And so that gives me an idea of if I had just taken the components from the Ranger and just put them in the Wrangler, then that's what kind of performance I'd have. And it's not horrible. I mean, it's acceptable for sure. But 150 amps, I can crank that up quite a lot before I start breaking things, and I will. But in the meantime, I got to get this charger thing situated, and this could be ugly. No, it's not ugly. It's not hard. It's just something I didn't want to do. I just didn't want to have to do it. But I will if I have to. What else did I get? I got some cool door tops. So normally the soft top on these Wranglers has these awful, well, they're those right there. They're zippers, and you got to undo the zipper right here, and then the thing folds down, and it's silly. So I got these sliding glass window tops. So that's pretty cool. And I got a Renegade frameless soft top. So that's pretty cool. I'll put that on. This weekend's supposed to get pretty warm, and they say that you should leave the soft top out in the sun for a few hours to warm up so it can kind of stretch, because I guess they're built pretty tight. So that's what we'll do this weekend. Get the soft top on it and sort this charger out. So that is where we're at. That's what we've had. That's what we've done, and that's what we're going to do. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.